Assalamu alaikum, 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. President says Pakistan has rendered unprecedented sacrifices in war on terror to bring peace to the region. Pakistani and Russian presidents at their meeting on sidelines of SCO summit in China agreed to promote cooperation in diverse fields, including security. Tomorrow is the last date for filing of nomination papers for upcoming general elections. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops martyred 6 more youths during fresh acts of state terrorism in Kupwara district today. Rohingya organizations worldwide have criticized a new agreement between Myanmar and UN on repatriation of Rohingya refugees. And now the news in detail. President Mamnoon Hussain says Pakistan has rendered unprecedented sacrifices in war on terror to bring peace in the region. Addressing the SCO summit at Qingdao in China today, he said law and order situation has improved in Pakistan due to our effective efforts against terrorism and extremism. The president said democratic values and democratic institutions have strengthened in Pakistan. Mamnoon Hussain said, peace and stability in Afghanistan is our common objective and Pakistan is playing its due role in this regard. He said that ceasefire in Afghanistan is a positive sign for regional peace. The president said Islamabad and Kabul are working on a comprehensive strategy on bilateral basis to establish peace in Afghanistan. Mamnoon Hussain said the CPEC is changing economic outlook of Pakistan, which has been dubbed as the best destination for private investment. He said 9 industrial zones are being established in different parts of the country, which will offer special incentives to the investors. Pakistan and Russia have agreed to work together to further enhance economic ties and increase the trade volume. This agreement was reached during a meeting between President Mamnoon Hussain and Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of Qingdao summit today. The two leaders discussed matters of mutual interest, including bilateral, regional, and global issues. Trade, energy, security, culture, education, and people-to-people contacts were identified as avenues for enhanced future cooperation. The leaders agreed that the bilateral trade between the two nations has tremendous potential. President Mamnoon Hussain also held a meeting with his Uzbek counterpart, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, at Qingdao in China today. Both leaders expressed resolve to enhance bilateral relations in all areas of mutual interest. President Mamnoon thanked Uzbek President for extending support for Pakistan's membership of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. He praised the leading role of Uzbekistan in SCO's regional anti-terrorist structure and reiterated Pakistan's commitment to complement all efforts for regional peace and security. President Mamnoon Hussain referred to historical bilateral cultural relationship spanning over centuries and emphasized the need to enhance people-to-people contacts. He offered Uzbekistan to fully utilize Pakistan's connectivity potential. Tomorrow is the last day for filing of nomination papers for upcoming general elections. Nomination papers for reserved seats of women and non-Muslims can also be filed by tomorrow. Meanwhile, officers of Election Commission as well as district returning officers and returning officers are open today to facilitate the aspiring candidates to file their nomination papers. According to the revised election schedule issued by ECP, the preliminary list of candidates will be published tomorrow. Scrutiny process of nomination papers will continue till 19th, while appeals against rejection or acceptance of papers can be filed by 22nd of this month. Chief Justice of Pakistan, Mia Saqib Nisar, has ordered the concerned NAB court to complete the hearing process and decide all the 3 references against former Prime Minister Mohammad Nawaz Sharif and Maryam Nawaz in 4 weeks. Hearing an application filed by NAB court in Lahore Registry of Supreme Court today, the Chief Justice rejected the plea by Nawaz Sharif's lawyer, Khwaja Haris, to complete the trial in 6 weeks instead. He said these cases should be decided now without any further delay and directed the NAB court to hear the references even on Saturdays if needed. He said Nawaz Sharif and Maryam Nawaz can go to London for inquiring after Begum Kulthum Nawaz's health after submitting application. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops martyred 6 more youth during fresh acts of state terrorism in Kupwara district today. They were killed during a seed and search operation in Kiran area. The killing of youth comes at a time when Indian government has announced a so-called ceasefire in the occupied territory. In a statement in Srinagar, chairman of Tehreek-e-Hurriyat, Jammu and Kashmir, Muhammad Ashraf Sehrai, said occupation authorities are victimizing people for their participation in pro-freedom activities. Addressing a gathering in Thana Mandi area of Jammu region, APHC leader Mir Shahid Salim said Indian military is usurping religious freedom in the territory. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has welcomed Taliban's announcement of a 3-day partial ceasefire during Eid al-Fitr holidays. In a statement, he urged all parties concerned to seize this opportunity and embrace an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned peace process. The Secretary-General said there is no military solution to this conflict and only a political settlement can bring an end to the sufferings in Afghanistan. Antonio Guterres reiterated UN's commitment to supporting the people and government of Afghanistan in this important endeavor. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says the US attempts to impose its policies on others and they are a threat to all. Speaking at the SCO summit in China's Qingdao city, he said Tehran appreciates efforts by Beijing and Moscow to maintain its nuclear deal with the world powers. Rohingya organizations worldwide have criticized a new agreement between Myanmar and the UN on repatriation of Rohingya refugees. A joint statement signed by 23 Rohingya organizations, including the European Rohingya Council and Arakan Rohingya National Organization, said the agreement did not touch the root causes of the crisis, including Rohingya citizenship and ethnic identity. In Iraq, security forces began a military operation against Daesh cells in eastern Diyala province today. According to a local police officer, military operation has been started after Daesh terrorist cells became effective in carrying out attacks against security personnel in deserted roads and areas. He said 3 terrorists have been arrested during the operation. Germany says it supports Group of 7 communique despite U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to back out of declaration drawn up at a summit in Canada. In a statement today, a government spokesman, Stephen Stabert, said Germany stands by jointly agreed communique. And now cricket. In the final of Women's T20 Asia Cup at Kuala Lumpur, Bangladesh beat India by 3 wickets. Batting first, India scored 112 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in stipulated 20 overs. Bangladesh achieved the target on the last ball of the last over. And finally, the weather report. Mainly very hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, more rain and thunder showers are associated with gusty winds are expected in Malakand, Hazara and Bahawalpur divisions, Upper Fata, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir. To end the news, the headlines once again. Crisis and war on terror to bring peace to the region. Pakistani and Russian presidents at their meeting on sidelines of SCO summit in China agreed to promote cooperation in diverse fields, including security. Tomorrow is the last date for filing of nomination papers for upcoming general elections. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops martyred 6 more youths during fresh acts of state terrorism in Kupwara district today. Rohingya organizations worldwide have criticized a new agreement between Myanmar and UN on repatriation of Rohingya refugees. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.